right, everybody. Ignore my bald head. I forgot my hat. Usually it's balder. I haven't gone to the haircut in a while. Anyway, very special day. We are digging the trench for the electric line and the well. So it's gonna be loud, but I got this big old piece of PVC pipe. It's 10 foot long. We're gonna put it in the hole and see how much further we gotta dig. All right, just came over here to check. Looks pretty good. Looks like we're about to break into the house here. Just for you guys. Ooh, baby. That's where I'm gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna be right down there tomorrow, right there. Putting in that Pitless. Okay, so we're changing gears a little bit from digging in the dirt, and we're working on the remote pedestal box for the power company. So basically, each power company is going to have a different requirement for your remote pedestal, but what we have here is for Alaska. So we've got two 4x6 posts, and then one 2x6 board, and then one sheet of marine plywood. So this is like exterior plywood sheet, whatever, OSB stuff. It's like rated for outdoor stuff. That's what they need you to have. And then basically you want to bury it 3 feet in the ground. So that's where we have our line here. That's our burying line. And then from the ground, you got to be between 60 to 72 inches to the meter where the electric company will come in and install the meter on the box. So right now we're at 65 inches, so we're kind of right in the middle. And then yeah, you got to attach everything with structure screws. That's what it says on the thing. So we got our little GRK fasteners to attach these. And so basically what this is your line will come in from the electric company. It will come in here, run up to the meter, and then these are already pre-connected, but it connects from the meter to your 200 amp service breaker. So if you ever need to shut off service to the house for any reason, you come flip this. That shuts down all the power going into the house completely. Anyway, and then it comes down here, and we got a little branch off, so we're going to plug in a 20 volt or a 20 amp breaker here and then branch it off so we have a little 4-prong box. So while we're building, we can plug in 4 different things on a box here. And then anyway, so then it comes out, your main power comes out down the bottom, and then it goes down into the ground and then runs all the way to the house. But basically all it is you just take your posts, spread them 32 inches apart, put your plywood on, cut it at 32. We doubled up our plywood here just to make it stronger. Like I said, we overbuild everything. And then 2x6 here will act as when your pipes come out, or when your electrical conduits come out, they're in this conduit. So they come out in this, and then you clamp these with a clamp here. And that's what keeps those in place. Then they run down the 3 feet and into the ground. And then one goes out to however your power company installs it. So ours is probably going to run a pole across the street and then down, and then it'll go underground from there. And then the other side will come down and it'll go to the structure. So in our case, the house. But it's going to have this big thick wire, 3-prong wire inside this sheathing. And then we got all of our stuff here to hook up for the 4 outlet on the outside. But that's what we're working on. And then we also picked up, we've got our 100 foot of 1-inch pipe for the well, and then we've got our well wire, 100 foot of well wire. So that'll go all the way down the well. Our static for the well is at 55 feet, so we don't have to go super far, but I wanted enough that we could get into the house pretty far, because I want my pressure switch and my pressure tank for the well to be next to each other, and I want it to be close to the crawl space access, so I don't have to go crawling all the way through my crawl space just to, you know, change the switch or whatever when I got to do that. And then one other thing for the pedestal, you got to get 2 6-foot ground rods. At least we do. 2 6-foot ground rods, and then some copper wire. And so at the base of the pedestal, you put 1 ground rod right where you bury it. Boom, right there. And then that wire has to get clamped every 6 inches and run up here and into the box where it grounds out. And then your ground wire connects to that first pole, and then you go 6 feet out with that wire, and then boom, plug the other pole into the ground, and then wrap it around. And you have to bury these all the way down with just like a few inches sticking out. So really, hopefully the ground is thawed enough that we can just push it in with the excavator, or I don't know, bang it in somehow, but that's a lot to bury. So that is it. And then the remote pedestal would be done. And we're gonna attack it from a different angle. We dug this a little bit shallower because we're gonna run the electric line here. So, should be a bit stronger on the edge. Bo, that's perfect. That's 10 feet. Let's go. Okay, so he's just gotta stay at that grade and then go 60 feet behind him to the house. All right, so the next step is we need to install the water line into the well. How do you do that? With this. So this is called a Pitless adapter, and I've never put one in. We've all never put one in, but it's one of those things that seems complicated but not hard, you know, kind of like electric stuff. It's like it's complicated but it's not difficult to do. So basically 10 foot down, right? You gotta go 10 foot down your well because you gotta go under the frost line like we talked about. But when you get to that 10 feet, you drill a hole into your well pipe. There's not water there because the water's, you know, way further down. This well got dug 100 foot down and the static's at 55 feet, which means the water rose to 55 feet. So at 10 feet, you're dry. There's no water. But basically, you go 10 foot down, you drill a hole into the well pipe. And then, okay, how do you get a fitting into the pipe, right? Because like you can't just screw something in on the outside because it won't be tight on the inside. So that's where this comes in. So on the top it's got threads, on the bottom it's got threads, and then this is where your hose connect. Well, your hose. This is where your pipe connects to go into your house. So it's got this nut. Connect your pipe, screw her on. Good. Okay. So basically, on the top threads, this goes nowhere. There's nothing in there. On the bottom, there's a hole where your water comes through that hole and then out towards your house. So basically, you take this big long piece of pipe with threads on the end. It's got to be, you know, 10 feet because you got to go 10 feet down the pipe. You thread that on and then you lower this down the pipe and then you shove it into that hole that you drilled, and then a person on the outside of the well screws this down really tight, pipe wrenches it on because there's 3 gaskets there. Boom, 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 and then that all pinches down and holds it watertight. Then you unscrew your adapter and you pull that out. Okay, then you might have the thought that I had, which was, okay, but how do they hook up the water line later to get the water from the 55 foot down up into like where the pump is going to be up to the 10 foot? Well, check this out. This slides off and it's got an O-ring that seals to the back here. So basically, when the well company comes in to put the pump in, they do the same thing. They screw that adapter onto here and they yank up and they pull this out, and then they hook up their stuff, you know, here, and they lower that back down and they slap it in, boom, and then that seals and then your water goes in. That's it. It's pretty simple, but it's pretty ingenious.
We're putting the Pitless in. A 1-inch hole through the pipe. Now,
this wall because that wall wasn't moving. This one was.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now we just gotta. Okay, I'm coming.
Okay, you get on the ladder.
You need the whoever's up.
Careful.
Right. Okay. Ooh. Okay, there you go. Okay, so final update for the day. Well, final update for this video. We're still gonna go today, but final update for this video. We finished putting in the water line, the pitless, all that stuff. The well wires down there. Next, we're gonna work on putting the pedestal in our hole, and then running our electric line kind of in the same trench, just higher up. So, see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Look how smart we are. We put a rope in there so we could tie it to this, and we could yank the cable in through the conduit all the way up. I bought 96 feet at 15% off. I hope it makes it.